From Chicago streets to the court's beat, South Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What's good, Bulls fans and Horniacs, and welcome back to a very special edition of the Horns Over Hoops podcast. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Bass, Scott Berman, and Dan Gracie. Gentlemen, Dan, right off the bat, I see you wiping your nose. I know you haven't finished crying yet.
I haven't.
I know. Very emotional day yesterday. We'll jump right into the occasion. We decided that given Derrick Rose having that beautiful ceremony yesterday and it pretty much being declared Derrick Rose week in Chicago, we'll dive into the festivities that transpired on Saturday, as well as what you can expect in the future. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into it. Scott, or guys, did you guys watch? You watched everything, right? I know, Scott, you couldn't watch the game because you were hanging on by a thread there.
Yeah, life or death situation for him.
I watched a replay of the halftime. That's about it. But yeah, yesterday, I slept for like 17 hours. I felt terrible.
Yeah, I know. You said you were like having cold sweats and everything. Not good. Not good.
No bueno.
But for those, Dan, you did watch the game, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you watch the game?
Saw
Dan?
a lot of the ceremonies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you guys feel with everything that Derrick Rose was basically gifted the key to the city, for lack of better words, yesterday? He had Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson declare that January 4th will always and forever be known as Derrick Rose Day in the city of Chicago. Of course, everybody knows 1/4/25 being the numbers that he wore in the NBA. D Rose then very, very, very admirably, I might add, opened up a cleverly named flower shop, pop-up shop for a day where he surprised fans and showed up and met with his Chicago fans. They gave him a mural made of flowers on Clybourne basketball court. And then perhaps one of the most special things that the Chicago Bulls organization could ever do, because they've only done it 4 times. Michael Reinsdorf met with Derrick Rose and told him that after next season, nobody in the history of the Chicago Bulls will ever wear number 1 unless it's PJ Rose. And that got Derrick really emotional. We'll go into the halftime ceremony and then a couple famous quotes as well as a special montage. So I'm excited about it. So guys, what do you feel about Derrick Rose Day? Are you guys going to be celebrating it next year?
I mean, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I mean, I know I celebrate Mamba Day, which is 8/24. So I don't see why I wouldn't celebrate this, or Derrick Rose Day either. Derrick Rose is my personal GOAT. So
yeah. Scott, were you celebrating?
I'll do the same thing I do for Stone Cold Day, is just text you guys, hey, happy Stone Cold Day with a GIF. And then that's it.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's about what I'll do. Because how do you celebrate this? Just send you guys random videos of him dunking on Dragic, and that's it?
That should be it.
Yeah. That's how
for for Stone Cold Day, you gotta wear like a Stone Cold shirt. Kobe Day, you gotta put on a Kobe jersey. Derrick Rose Day, you gotta put on a Derrick Rose jersey. If you have their shoes, put on their shoes.
Watch their highlights.
I have none of all 3 of those.
Well, you're a terrible fan then.
Apparently.
Can you watch a highlight or two? I mean, damn, get in the holiday.
Yeah, I can watch a highlight and I'll send you guys.
There you go.
But
there
it's
you
got
go.
the same thing. It's the same thing. I'll just send you a text, and that's about how I'll celebrate, because you can't really celebrate it.
I think it was just recognition. Yeah.
As long as you acknowledge that today is the day, then I think you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, every day is Derrick Rose Day. That's me. Every day is 1/4/25.
The day ends in Y. It's Derrick Rose Day.
Exactly. I want to get into this flower shop because I thought it was really clever. His name's Rose. He opened up a pop-up flower shop. Did any of you guys even venture out to go see this thing? Because I don't know if you guys have seen the videos or if you guys at home have seen the videos. There was a line at least 7 or 8 blocks long. I mean, that thing was enormous to get into this flower shop. But Derrick did surprise the fans and show up there. Did you guys even go or think of going?
No to both. Just because Chicago's like at least 2 hours from where I live. It's cold as balls out.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to go to Chicago for some flowers.
Yeah. No. Scott, you didn't go? You're probably still nursing your sickness.
I was working, so, but no, I didn't think about going. But I love that he's kind of brought his humbleness to this whole celebration and seemed to have been trying to do as much as possible for the fans.
Yeah.
With this. And this is a perfect example of it. Like no one, you see anybody retiring, they're not going to go sit out and do something for 8-9 hours just because the fans love them. Like I've never heard of this with anybody. So this is such a cool thing. And like, as much as Derrick meant to this city, I think it's kind of showing of how much the fans, like it meant to the fans for him to be here.
Yeah. Derrick Rose was always, as humble as he was always a fans first guy. I mean, he always put winning and fans and family above anything else. And I think that's why we're seeing as much activity and festivity and celebration of Derrick Rose, is because he left a special chunk of himself in the city of Chicago. He's that one guy that no matter what city in the world he moves to or what team he was playing for, he was always Chicago, thick and thin, nothing more, nothing less. Do you guys feel that overall that it was enough to fully commemorate one of the greatest basketball players to ever roam these streets in Derrick Rose, like all the activities, the holidays? Do you think that this was enough?
Oh yeah.
Would you have liked to seen any more?
No, I think, well, first off, I was happy to see that the Bulls organization rose to the occasion and did all this for him. You see what I did there? Yeah.
Man. Yes.
But yeah, I was glad to see that they did everything they possibly could do for Derrick, because he did inspire the whole city when he was here. Sal, I know me and you have said for a couple of years now that we want Derrick back on the Bulls before he retired. So I think the organization realized and understood how much he meant to the city and still does mean to the city. So yeah, I feel like they went all out. I mean, not even like when Kobe retired, they didn't do all this for Kobe in LA. So I think we did a great job.
Yeah. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they did it right. And I think part of it too, they actually asked him what he wanted and kind of let him run the show. Yeah. They obviously had some input, I think, but him and Noah probably had more input than what the Bulls did. So, yeah, I think they did it right. And I think part of it too is kind of hearing what Noah said about what the Bulls did for him compared to what they did for Derrick, about how they just cheaped out on everything. And this seemed like, okay, we messed up with some of the older guys. Let's do this right for a guy that actually made a massive difference to our team.
Yeah. I mean, he's the second biggest star for our organization. Like, it's Michael, then it's Derrick, and then it's everyone else.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I wanted to touch on it later, but we'll touch on it now. During the halftime ceremony, Stacey King compared Derrick Rose to the second coming of Haley's Comet, because as we all know, Stacey King was fortunate enough to play with the greatest basketball player of all time in Michael Jordan. And he said, you only see Haley's Comet once in your life if you're lucky. and he felt like Derrick Rose was the caliber of player that gave him that second Haley's Comet to the Chicago Bulls organization. He couldn't have been any closer to the truth on that. He couldn't have hit it any harder on the head, because there was no other coveted basketball player, not just to the city of Chicago, but to the Bulls organization, as Derrick Rose. And that was a very emotional ceremony. We'll get into that now. Actually, you guys watched the halftime ceremony. What'd you guys think of it? I teared up. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm not gonna lie. I teared up a couple of times just because, like, Derrick got me back into basketball. Like, I fell off after Mike retired, then I got back into it, and it was right when the Bulls drafted Derrick. So yeah, that's why I will forever say Derrick is my GOAT, because Derrick did a lot for me. So
yeah, that's a good way to put
I
it.
mean, it was emotional for me as well. So
Scott,
I'm glad they had Noah up there, because you can just have like Stacy and Neil up there because they're used to talking, but have someone that is as close to him as you can find that isn't family. Have someone that the fans know and trust to give you the side of his personal life. So Noah being up there was massive. Stacy and Noah were crying at moments. I did love that they did the video with PJ.
Yes.
And that was super unexpected. But I think what they did was perfect. Have the 20-minute thing. I do wish they would have done the jersey retirement then. But as bad as it sounds, it's such a Reinsdorf thing to get 2 days out of this.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't be shocked if those of you who live in Chicago or were interested even going to that game yesterday, you knew that tickets to sit in the 300 level, going on Ticketmaster to sit in the 300 level, were around $200-$300 each. Okay. Now, just to put in perspective, we tried going. Just to put in perspective of how much inflation that is usually those tickets, you can get them for about what, $50, $35-$50.
No, it's the Bulls. They're always going to be expensive. It's like 100 for 300, and then it's like 300 for the 100. So the fact that if you wanted good seats, it was like $700. If you wanted cheap seat, the cheap seats were $300. Like, it was outrageous.
Right. So given all that inflation, how many of those fans that were traveling to that game only purchased tickets? I shouldn't say only, but a big reason they purchased those tickets is to see a jersey retire, only to be told moments before the game, we're not doing it tonight. We're doing it next year. So you get to buy more tickets. You know what I mean? It's a clever move. I can't even say I fault him, because that's a great move. You capitalize on income twice. I always said it, guys. I'm not going to say that he's a great owner, but I will say the Reinsdorf family is a very great businman. It's a very good businessman.
They're savvy.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah. But back to Noah. I like that you touched on Noah, because between his retirement, then I don't know if you guys watched that the Derrick Rose where he sat down with Noah and watched all of his old highlights, and then to the halftime ceremony. It's really cool to see, even though they're not related, a big brother, little brother bond.
Yeah, the brotherhood between the two.
Exactly, and just shows you how much of an impact Joakim Noah had with Derrick Rose and vice versa. It's very, very heartwarming, and it's very cool to see like two of the most beloved Chicago Bulls players in our recent era come together and have that brotherly love. It's very heartwarming. That's all I can say. So I want to touch on the video that Scott said, because as a surprise, Derrick Rose prepared a video narrated by PJ Rose, his son, and it was just incredible. We all know that now Derrick Rose is referring to himself as an artist and a businessman. So I don't know if he's trying to get into film or what it is, but he's kind of alluding to the next chapter in his career, in his young life. But what did you guys think about the video in more detail wise?
I thought it was cool. I don't remember much of it. I just remember it was pretty much about Derrick Rose, his career as in basketball, right?
No,
I
it was
forgot
about
what was it
background.
about?
It was about his
Oh, it's
background. Yeah.
about coming. Okay, I don't remember it then.
Well,
I don't
okay.
remember it.
Scott?
I have to rewatch it.
Derek's going. His new thing now is filmmaking. That's what he wants to do. He's actually going to be releasing a documentary soon. I think that was part of the whole Rose thing. It was a sneak preview of his new documentary, but I do love that he had PJ in there, and he asked him, is like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, he didn't force him to do it. He wanted his son in there, and it's good to see how much like family and everything that he's gone through means to him, because it seems like that's way more important than the game. So I think he did a really good job, and I'm interested into seeing that documentary when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, it was very well put together. The montage that is. Derrick Rose. I think when it comes to sports, I don't think I've seen a bigger sports guy that has been in tune with his family more than Derrick Rose. From his emotional speech, giving thanks to his mom for basically, raising him to be this, he said he wouldn't be anything with his mom, and given their hardships, everything like that, to the birth of his son. And since day one, the birth of his son, Derrick Rose has been what I would call basically father of the year. That man puts his child and his family first before anything else. And it's just very heartwarming. Do you think that we're going to see PJ Rose playing one day?
I think so. Sorry, I was
You think so?
watching the Derrick Rose video. I still don't remember watching it. Yeah, I mean, we'll know once he gets like into high school and college if he'll make it to the NBA and everything. But as of right now, like, to steal a quote from Derrick, why not? Why why
Why
can't
not?
his son be why can't his son make it into the NBA? I mean, he always I feel like Derrick's approaching like fatherhood. Like, I saying this from as a non-father, but I feel like he's approaching fatherhood the right way and not like forcing PJ to do things. He's more like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, if you want to do this, like, you have all my full support if you want to do it. And if you don't, then that's cool too. But no, if you do want to do this, then you have to be great at it. You don't
Right.
just settle for good, be great. So I don't see why maybe one day we will see PJ Rose. It might not be on the Bulls, but I mean, it's a solid shot we see PJ in the NBA.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I mean, Scott, what do you think? We see PJ or no?
If we do see PJ, I hope it's on his actual play and not like Bronny, where
Yes.
it's
Yes.
just because he's LeBron James' son.
Yes.
I don't know if the Bulls wouldn't do that, just draft a guy just because it's Derrick Rose's son. I don't think.
Jerry,
Jerry will not be
Depends.
alive when PJ is of age. He's 11.
Michael.
He's 11.
Michael.
I think they're going to sell the team at some point. So I don't know if we'll see him in the NBA. I hope so. We're starting to see a lot of players' kids come in that like we watched like 10,
Carlos
15
Boozer's
years ago.
kids.
Yep.
Yeah, the Boozer boys.
Gary Payton's son.
Payton.
All those players are starting to come in, but there's a lot of players that were busts too. So who knows? He does have a good, solid like coaching because he's been working out. He's been doing a lot of work with Ja Morant and Derrick, and he was actually on Ja's AAU team and they won the championship. But also, I think AAU basketball is the worst thing that's happened to basketball. because it's just like, let's see the flashiest plays possible and not actually play. But I would love to see PJ in the league, but we'll see. And I don't think PJ would wear number 1.
Yeah, I don't think he would want to.
No, I think
I can see him wearing like 11 or maybe 23 or not 20. He can't wear 23 if he's on the Bulls.
No, he can't.
But
25, you're saying? Yeah.
I'm at, well, not 25, but like one more, one less.
He'll be number 2. He'll be number 2 because he's one better than his dad.
Yeah, he'll do.
I can see him wearing like 2 or 24 or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing
better than Kobe.
Oh boy. Yeah, the only thing that's going against him as far as making the league would be if he wants to do it or not. You know, as we've seen in the league, superstar parents, their children usually don't, I don't want to say amount to anything, but usually don't have very much success in the NBA. I'm talking superstar. We're talking your MJ, your LeBron. I'm gonna throw LeBron in there. Their children usually don't have a lucrative career in the NBA. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the upbringing or they see what their parents went through and didn't want anything of it. But
I feel like it's usually like the role players' kids that ends up being like,
exactly,
a solid starter or a star.
Your Steph Curry, your Klay Thompsons, exactly that. It's never the superstar Hall of Famer, shouldn't say Hall of Famer, but superstar caliber player that has a successful kid in the NBA. And as far as pushing the league, I don't think that the Bulls would do that, because the only reason why the Lakers pushed Bronny the way it is because his father is currently playing, and it's we want to see the first father-son duo. Given that Derrick is already, what's that?
I was going to say it's probably for the Lakers. It's probably for the money. They just
exactly. It's for the money. It's for the publicity.
It's for the clicks.
Everything.
Exactly.
It's exactly. Given that Derrick's already retired, I don't think that he would have the same fiasco that Bronny's going through right now. As far as if the Bulls would draft him, I think that whatever draft, however draftly, I don't know how to put it, wherever he is worth in the draft, of that class is where he'll get picked.
Yeah.
If the Bulls have a free second rounder and he's worth a second rounder, do I see them jumping up a few picks and picking Derrick's kid? I do. But do I see him getting picked in the first round? Who knows? You know what I mean?
Like, worst case scenario is that like PJ goes into the draft, goes undrafted, and the Bulls pick him up undrafted and put him on the summer league team or some shit.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's a win for me. I would be fine with that. I just hope that for the good of Derrick, for everything he's done for us, for everything that his story comes with, that we do right by his family when we get the chance to. You know what I mean? Don't just have him on the team to sell ticket. Don't use his child. You know what I mean? Don't use his
don't sell. Yeah, don't exploit.
Yes, exactly. If it's one of those, just leave it be. So that's exactly. Before we get out of here, Hall of Famer, first ballot, yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Scott's probably gonna say no.
No, how fucking dare you? He was terrible. He had one good year. No,
he didn't even win a championship.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer because, like I said before, it's not just NBA; it's his whole career. So, his high school career of him winning the first 2 champions for Simeon in years, him going to the NCAA tournament championship and then missing 2 free throws and losing. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer. I think the MVP trophy is what made him a Hall of Famer. And plus he played for a long time as a really decent player. He had some games. He had like a 60-point game. So
50.
50?
It was 50. You're talking about the Minnesota game?
Yeah, the one. Yeah. If you want to hear the best
50.
story about that, watch the Derrick Rose 503 Club episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think he'll be a Hall of Famer. So
Okay.
Yeah.
First ballot right away, or is he gonna have to wait a bit?
The basketball Hall of Fame isn't like super
Kinda-
hard to get into compared
Yeah,
to like baseball. So yes, I think he'll be a first ballot.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. I think that if this young man does not make the first ballot Hall of Fame or make the Hall of Fame on the first try, somebody needs to be fired. Youngest MVP, rookie of the year, 15 years in the league, given bad knees and major setbacks, coveted by a city like this. Yeah, there's no way this man does not make it in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He has cemented his name on basketball, not just for our era, but for the entire life of the game. So I agree. One last thing before we get out of here, because Derrick Rose wear number 1, and he's probably one of the most iconic players to ever wear number 1. What was your one favorite Derrick Rose moment of all time?
Oh man,
What's
my
that?
guy. No, it's just so hard to pick one.
One.
So
ONE 1.
can I? I have 2. I have 2, and I can't pick one. Am I allowed to have 2?
Did Derrick Rose wear 2 or did he wear 1?
He wore 25.
How do you
Can
get
I
1?
25?
By all
5.
means. No, go ahead. You can have 2. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
All right. So in no order between the 2, the let me step back and kiss myself moment.
Yeah.
I was at that game, and my God, that was insane. And then the other one is when we were playing the Pistons, and it was the oop from Ronnie Brewer to Derrick. I was at that game as well, and oh my God, the entire arena was just shaking. The entire arena was shaking at both games. I mean, Jesus, I have so many Derrick Rose moments.
I'm glad you brought up that your favorite moment was the Milwaukee Bucks step back and kiss myself, because I think you were one of the reasons why that was one of my favorite buzzer beaters of all time. It's because you were texting us that like moments before he hit that shot, you were saying like the crowd was chanting "overrated."
Oh yeah, the Bucks fans were just trying to shit on Derrick. And
and then he comes out and hits that shot.
Yeah, and that was back in the day when the Bucks were bad, and they were still playing at the BMO Harris arena or whatever it's called, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And yeah, back then I was shocked that they were chanting like overrated and stuff, just because when the Bulls played the Bucks back then, there was known as the United Center of the North, because we just took over that arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. And like I said, that's what made it one of my favorites, is because you went to the game and you were texting us back and forth from the game. I was watching it live and you were in person live, and you're saying, I can't believe they're actually saying that he's overrated. They're actually chanting he's overrated. And then not even 2-3 minutes later, he shows how underrated he really was. And that's one of my favorite ones. And plus, that step back was just one of the coldest step back shots I've ever seen. That was insane. Yeah. Oh, Scott Berman, your one favorite Derrick Rose moment, but actually can be 2.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna be the Cavs Bulls semifinals where he hits that game 3 with like 3 seconds. He shoots it, and they ended up kicking our ass the rest of the series. But that just him making that shot, running over to Noah, and just that look of I fucking did that. Like, yes, that and then you see LeBron walking off the court, all depressed. That was good.
I honestly feel like
that was probably my favorite.
I feel like he made that face just to be like, I still got it. Like all the doubt that everyone had about my knees, my injuries, and everything. This proves I still have it. I still have ice in my veins.
That's exactly what he said. Because did you hear? He actually explained it when he was doing that sit down with Noah when he was watching all of his highlights. He didn't expect it to go in, but that's exactly that. He hit that shot, and it was like, damn, I still got it. Like, yeah, I'm still that guy. So that was a great shot over Tristan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my one favorite Derrick Rose moment. Ah. Hard to say because as you guys know, Derrick Rose was like he was more than a GOAT for me because like Derrick Rose, like Dan, I watched the Bulls when Michael Jordan was around and I was a young kid, but it was just amazing to see everything that Michael Jordan was able to do with a basketball. But Derrick Rose hit a little closer to home because he was our age and he was literally doing things with a basketball that no one has ever seen before. He took everything Iverson was able to do and just perfected it. Like, so my favorite Derrick Rose moment was probably when he won the MVP. And the reason why it is because just how humbly he accepted it. He basically called it. He said, "Why can't I win?" I mean, everyone remembers that speech. You referenced it earlier, Dan. Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? You know, of course, alluding to like, does it have to be LeBron James? Does it have to be, it can be me. I can do it. A kid from Chicago can win the MVP. Then not only did he win, but he thanked his mom and he thanked given everything they went through, his mom was the reason, his family was the reason why he's as good as he can play. And that's why, is because now I realize that we didn't just have a player, we didn't just have a regular guy leading our team. We had a family man, we had Chicago's own, we had somebody that was one of us, and that nothing would ever take that. So my favorite MVP moment was when he was crowned MVP, because once again, we had success in Chicago. So, gentlemen, was this episode good or was it great?
It was great. This episode
there you go.
Great.
I love that quote. I'm going to start using that now. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? All right.
I want to be average. I want to be average at best.
You want to be average? Come on.
I'm just kidding.
What did Pitbull say? Shoot for the stars, so if you miss, you land on the clouds?
I don't know. I don't listen to Pitbull. I respect my eardrums.
Jeez, a little sass. Gentlemen, before we cut loose, any final words?
No. See Red, go D Rose. Number 25 is number 1. Number 25 is number 1.
Steve Kerr?
No. Rose is Simeon number, and then
I know.
Number 4 is number 1.
Jerry Sloan?
Yes. Aaron Williams has something to say about that.
Dan, you know who number 25 is right now on the Bulls?
Oh, yeah. DT phone home.
That's fucking Dalen.
Oh, my God.
Dalen Terry. How dare you? Take that back immediately.
DT 25.
If someone can find that hoodie that Noah had, I need it.
Yes.
We've been searching and we cannot find it. That hoodie was amazing.
If anyone knows where it is, please link us immediately.
Yeah. I'm actually going to create a post about this after this airs, and if anyone knows the whereabouts of it, even if you got to buy it off of Joakim himself, we're interested.
Oh my God. If I bought something that, like the hoodie that Joe wore to Derrick Rose's retirement ceremony, just kill me. I'll die happy.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm hoping that we look forward to many and many celebrations of Derrick Rose Day. Before we cut loose, my final thoughts are just thank you, Derrick. Thank you, Derrick Rose, for providing this city with what you gave it the last week. It was because of you that we had the happiness, the joy, the tears, the basketball highlights, the everything. And thank you very much. You were very much the fuel that sparked and drove this Chicago machine towards success. And we thank you tenfold for it. So from all of us here at the Horns Over Hoop studio, we say, see red, go Bulls. Congrats, Derrick. And we look forward to seeing your number in the rafters. Have a good one.
D Rose.